Match number 5, chosen by Twisted Minds. They won the previous one, and now they are going to be dropping on test track and going to be happy from there as we follow example all the way down. And before we actually do get to, you know, what Twisted Minds could do, what might happen here, what circle we're going to get and stuff like that, I think the inclusion of Molodoct as a sub onto this roster is very interesting, and I'll tell you for why. Because in the past, oh geez Louise, this is going on, I forgot about this. We'll talk about it in a moment before we, after we've dealt with this hot drop here, Toffees, because, yep, T1s, they're not shy of it, and they win out the hot drops in PGC almost every time.
This, however, raises an interesting idea. If anybody is smart enough to be aware of this hot drop and keep track of it, it's Batulin. And so he picked a map that not only are they good at, but T1 is going to have to fight for their life on right out of the gate.
Oh, already lost one. Ming just going to be playing this slow here. He has an AK. And Raining had no opportunity to be able to respond to that. The problem that arises now, though, again, is shotguns in these hot drops and the ability to be able to predict when people are coming around corners a little bit better than other scenarios. So, unfortunately, wait a minute. Lou threw something. Zhao Lu threw something at Soul to knock him. What was this? What happened?
What did he throw? It wasn't, Well, that's a shame. Maybe the highlight reels will find it one day, but Himat's going to get a nice little spot as he goes around. Shen with the double barrel is in a very good spot. Downside is it's a double, so these are smaller rooms, so you have to be careful of your barrel jump. He's going to, Himat's holding the angle. He's using the closed door to try to buy a little bit of space.
Did a Tongmu also pick up something to throw at Soul to finish him? What's going on?
He did. I think they're just tossing things. They're just low on ammo.
And the kitchen sink.
He picked it back up and threw it again. Wicked gets the peek, goes for the second follow-up. They hold the angle. And that is going to be the down of Wicked as 4AM is playing this very, very aggressively.
Anyone's Legend, a lot of hype about this roster coming in, considering Soul will be alongside Himas, but it's not really worked out too well at all for day number 1. Only 12 points on the board here. Tongmu does find Himas, and Solols is going to be the only one left alive here to really do anything about it, but 4AM winning out on a hot drop. They've not won out on many hot drops recently because, again, they were going up against T1 when it came to Erangel, but this time around, it is looking all right, and Heaven is actually coming in from the side.
So Sololzi was down to 15 bullets. Himas is actually over there trying to drop firearms for him to switch over, and he did. He picked up his AK and a few extra rounds to try and play the defense here. As he does hold, Longzi looking to get around that wall to mess with him. They're taking turns back and forth. Sololzi gets the knock. Then he gets a Tongmu. Can he do this before the others come in? He does! He gets the triple as 4 Angry Men is gone, but now they got to worry about the freaks who are off the leash as they get ready to crash for the last kill.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was going to be running for his life. He got all 4, technically, during that entire fight. Solozzi gets all 4. That's crazy stuff from him, considering there's Himas and Soul on that team. So what a play coming out from him. Himas is... he's done. There's no way you're getting him up somehow, somewhere. And Sololzi, I don't know how you survived this, my friend. Best of luck.
This is where you embrace the sweet hug of death. But you know that you went out on your own terms. And that's what Sololzi will always have waiting. As the freaks come down from on high with Panzerfaust, with firearms. But Sololzi, he's not giving up just yet. He's setting the snake trap.
Yeah, it's time to hide, for the most part. What can you do? Can you get in that sink? You guys previously threw the kitchen sinks at your opponents. It's time to get in one.
Where's the Skibbity toilet skin?
No. Actually, to be fair, if he had like a little, surveillance cameras ahead, maybe that would assist in his abilities to figure out where they are. But anyway, Chewy, whoa, T1's gone. That's number 1 out here. So they were right to avoid some of the hot drop scenarios by going double Tago.
They were indeed. And so that is a little bit of a side product of Twisted Minds picking this map. T1, their number 1 rival in first place, is eliminated in the very early game. So that's going to switch it up for everyone. So Lolzi smartly leaves the house knowing the push is coming. Wants to go for the left side, but they got a Panzerfaust, and that's going to be a Pouncer dunk as DNF comes in. They're going to actually be, I think, salty if they only walked away with 1 kill from this entire thing, though. Because Sololzi knew they were coming and made the most out of it.
Yeah, at least from Sololzi, that's higher than their average points that they got in the previous games. So I'm going to take that as a win for anyone's Legend.
It's a big moment for them.
Yes, these up-and-comers.
They just got 1/4 of their entire day's points off the back of that hot drop. Indeed. All right, so let's get back to talking about the map. The question is, did Twisted Minds get the circle that they wanted? James.
Not so much
really.
with...
No.
Yeah, no, normally you're expecting... But the thing is the thing that makes Test Track so good on this map is the fact that it has good transition points to everywhere when it comes to circles. What I was saying, actually, before we got into all of this hot drop shenanigans was... Back in, like, I think 2 years ago, Batulin's had an interview with Kovo, and he was talking about... Let's take a look at the replay. An interview about, like, a speculative PNC team, right?
Yep.
And he was saying, okay, you know, would you have a doozy on that and stuff like that, who obviously is the IGL for BB team. And the onus and the premise of it is that he thought that they would clash with styles because they lead in such a different way when it comes to IGLing. Now, Molodox has obviously been under the umbrella of the doozy line of thought for a long time, so maybe to slot in might be a little bit more difficult than he's letting on. I'm not saying that it's not working out, because obviously we just heard from him saying it's working out totally fine. But that's an interesting little factoid about how EMEA works, and two IGLs can be excellent, but just completely think in very, very different ways.
Yeah, I think if you're going to take someone from that Aduzi system, though, it's Maladoc, who is essentially their version of the machine, right? That they send out to just take care of business. I will also say, while we're on the topic, Sololzi finished that fight with 14 HP and 4 bullets left. Like, that was insane. When he made that last push, he was almost sub 10 and had 9 rounds in the gun to get the final knock. Like, that's wild that he walked away with those points. And I think a shining example of what Sololzi can be when he's on the right team and they are playing at their best.
Yeah, it's cool. That's awesome. Again, especially considering anyone's legend. They have quite the extensive roster at the moment. Never mind the fact that they had to fill in with people because it'd be visa issues or travel problems or whatever and stuff like that. So the fact that they have like every member of Cerberus now at their disposal, ex-Cerberus, and are currently fielding Soul and Wicked. How many players can we have on anyone's legend? That's what I
heard their goal is to run internal scrims. 16 teams funded entirely by anyone's legend.
Is anyone legend 2? Is anyone's legend 3 over here? Anyone's legend Fire over in the northwest side, dropping in stadium.
That'd be hilarious. They'll never allow it, but it would be funny. All right, we got Banana 1. This is FW Esports. As Matt said in the last section, almost all of their points coming off of the back of one massive game, but that fits their style, right? They're going to sort of play for this placement, get themselves a good spot, and then hope that they capitalize on some of these late-game fights. Up there, using the glider for rotation, very, very clean for them. I think it'll get them into a good spot just outside the middle.
They are moving. They are moving. Good old Batulins. Now, it's funny when Batulins goes out and gets a glider like this, because there's been moments in EMEA where I was surprised that like FaZe got caught off guard because it's such a common strategy for Batulins to go off and find a glider like this. So, well, it always works on out for them. Oftentimes they get a lot of information and are able to spot out a lot of stuff. Gotta be careful.
It's a trap!
Yeah, it might be a trap. Oh,
he wished he had the Panzer out right then, I'll tell you that. Panzer Joust!
That was on the money.
Yeah, it was. I love a good Panzer Joust. Del went down to 1 HP! Goes into the corner. He's got backup coming. Duck Juice crashing with a Panzer as well. They switch to grenades. Gonna toss it up and over. Nice double toss by Tanvu.
Nice.
Boom! Oh, no.
Oh, the car.
Ooh, the car. Tanvu pulls out another Panzerfaust because why not? Everyone gets one.
What's happening?
I don't know. He just didn't want to have his Panzer out anymore.
Yeah, well, Banana 1 is like the first person to knock someone with a gun, but then TE finishes it off in explosive fashion. Did he throw another nade? Oh, no, that was a smoke to cover him.
I think we've established that the Expendables isn't quite comfortable in third person yet, so their pushes, they're focusing on explosive ordnance, right? Like, you can't weird peek me if I'm throwing Panzerfaust through your windows.
That is true, and it definitely worked out there. I will say, though, that all the reinforcements kind of coming one after another definitely helped out the Expendables on this attack.
Yeah.
As we shift north away from some of the teams down towards south, but for the most part, there's only 1 or 2 teams that really need to kind of scramble to get in here and deal with this. Twisted Minds.
Yes.
Okay.
Great shift.
Good.
Great shift for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolute necessity. Is they were sort of, you could see them kind of pandering around this area, going like, this is not a great compound for us. Do we go somewhere else? And that shift did at least give them a spot to call home for a second. Tozy taking shots at Na'Vi as they go ahead and drive on by. But again, the new perspective does make driving a little less dangerous in terms of the surprise drive-by that we're so used to seeing. You can sort of scout your positions and your rotations out a little bit better. Petrichor, 126v6, our newest player, now dead.
Yeah, again, we don't know actually too much about the previous kind of performances of him, other than he was on Jiangrong, I think.
I don't even know who it is.
China.
It could be Excellent for all I know.
That would be cool, but probably not.
Probably not.
So, Navi's still going to be sending some nades forwards here. Again, all these teams just going to get being used to being able to hit some of these bangers. Oh, Hakatori down. AZ ruining people's fantasy rosters. I think the majority of us Hakatori is our captain, right?
Yes, that is true. So
yeah.
It sounds like we got Michael with a little bit of insight on that Expendables fight as we sort of watch the slow burn of Na'Vi and Begopa. You back there, Michael? Give us a little insight onto what Expendables is up to.
Yeah, I think if TE can get a closed-off fight with anyone early game, I think they love nothing more. They literally go feral for an early game fight. They love it so much, the same as Petrichor Road do. Just TE have just been a little bit cleaner today.
They go feral for an early game fight. You're not wrong, and I think it's something that a lot of teams are aware of generally when these tournaments start out. Petrichor is eliminated as they kind of get hit from all sides there. Does it take a certain team mentality to or does it scare the lobby knowing that there's always a feral team in there? Like, when you see Expendables in the early game, what is the feeling that comes with that?
Yeah, it's because you have your game plan as a team, and you're like, oh, we're going to play this type of style today, and then all of a sudden, all of a sudden, Lil Ghost can get squashed.
Yeah, we'll hold for this crash because the Falcons are into the gas station right now. It looks like there was a hold from 17. Meanwhile, on the other side, this is sort of a bit of a replay of how the Expendables held this fight up against FW. So you can remember that as Michael was sort of walking us through the chaos of these little guys at the start of the fight. But Falcons just absolutely dismantling 17 here. I didn't expect them to do so well.
Shrimsy with the P90, really opening that up instantaneously. Very difficult to go up with the against P90 against this position. Because the Kraken as well, kind of stuck against Twisted Minds, who have found themselves in Yulin, still pushing on through. See what they can do against all of this. It is a little bit difficult here for this to be ended quickly due to the positions that they're all in. Nobody's really wanting to push through these buildings. They'll leave themselves very exposed if they go through the courtyards.
So as we watch this chess match develop, you were saying it's tough mentally when you run into a Smash Mouth team early on because of the game plan?
Showed at all, and he has a Panzer and a nade ready for them crashing. They just saw an empty compound, and T loves that. They just want them to come in so they can get the free kills.
You know, again though, that was TE seeing a little bit lusty about going in and trying to get some kills out of that house, and it ends up in a backstab as JDG by himself over here, I believe, just catches him off guard.
On this west side, as anybody winning out this is still going to have to run into some pretty big teams on that west side as well. Cole trying to find any kills wherever he can. Already one on the board. That's another $100 to him. He does see Tanvu trying to drive away though. Maybe some potential free shots here for him. MK12 always a fixture. Duck Juice takes down Susie though. And now this fight is a little bit detached from one another, honestly. A little bit too scrappy here between these two teams.
Tanvu gonna go up over the top. He's got a nice grenade cooked up in a good spot, but again, he's actually hard peeking up over the top of that hill. Gets a second grenade queued up, throws it up over the top, has to watch the right side as JDG's looking to get a reposition to kind of flank him from the outside position.
So many nades.
I mean, I'm telling you, this is their fallback plan. Explosive ordnance and shotguns.
Yeah, a little sawn off can do wonders. That being said, though, does expose himself here. December the 12th gets quite a few shots in. Molotov going forwards, doesn't quite catch, though. At the same time, an off angle here coming in to try and deal with all of this. As it's Glories on the offside. Spaceman ties off to his own friend's molly. Sorry, December 12th. Sometimes it happens. I know you were trying to get rid of Tanvu. It's a tough task, but... Oh, that nade almost got him.
Huge. Tanvu's still trying to make the play here. While we watch this, I want to give a shout out to amateurs who skipped the birth of his child to watch Michael's analysis debut. Definitely worth it, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think more of you guys have to have that kind of commitment. Duck Juice really making the most that he can out of this thing. But JDG, they were not interested in this fight, really. I like that they took you know what, we're just going to not force this approach to that battle.
That's okay. That's not too bad. I think that, well, the thing is, for the Expendables, they're getting a res off. So they're winning out this fight currently. It's undisputed.
The Expendables, what a fascinating switch. Remember, they've gone from, I just want to get this over with so that I can go back and replan, to let's make things go boom, and they're 6 kills into the final game already. So a nice turnaround and a nice glow up in terms of their point get here so far. Up on top, T1 being out has opened the door for DNF, Falcons, and Twisted Minds to put themselves in a race position going into our second day of play. All 3 of those teams being kind of quiet in how they're handling the early game here on Rondo.
Yeah, it's the usual suspects. Falcons, of course, in 3rd place. That's all I'll say.
I don't know, they ended in 4th. Wasn't that the best save ever by Matt? Where he's like, they got 4th! And all of America
he said it in an almost
voice.
Proud way. Like, no, they didn't get 3rd.
And it was just it was an uncomfortable reminder. Upside, though, they didn't get grouped this year, so that's a win.
That is true. That was good. Yes, liked that bit. I do like the Falcons boys, but I do also like the silliness of always getting 3rd. Oh, dear me. That's going to be close. Going down, and Tanvu as well. Cole takes 2, but Duck Juice responds with that roll-up.
Very nice. December 12th going to go ahead and get that knockback on Duck Juice. We got Delwyn. He wants the high ground. He's going for the unplayable. Meanwhile, Falcons going to slide in here as they are making a nice little push. December 12th is in the ditch. So I love that H1 is going to go ahead and maximize the value there. Pushes up. Duck Juice is taken out as Molodok finishes Delwyn. December 12th trying to fall back, flashing and defending, and it is not going to come to anything. Now, Deal got that finish, which tells the Falcons a lot. If that hadn't happened, if they had gotten the flush with the grenade, I think Deal would have knocked one of them as they tried to find a position here. So seeing that steal actually worked well in the Falcons' favor.
It's a big split by freaks, right? Like having Human lead the charge, be that anchor position near the road, a little bit further into the circle. The rest of them are just kind of trying to cordon off anybody that would be moving around that north side. Likewise, Na'Vi is doing the similar thing on the northeast side. Now just making sure nobody's going to be wrapping on around. But an entry point to Yulin would be a little bit scary. We're suspecting that the circle's probably not going to end there. Na'Vi doesn't want to get into that position. They want to play from the north side here. He was using a bicycle. I love it.
It's very sneaky. Between the Pico and the bicycle, you're moving in dead silence. It's harrowing, to say the least. Also, Twisted Minds has taken the compound, and they're in a massive 4-way spread because they're not trying to hold it. They're just defensively scouting and will fall back and collapse if they're pushed. But I love that they're hold and how they're doing that right now. Falcons, on the other hand, is in a really tough spot. They've got a good ravine, but both sides are sort of susceptible to anyone who gets up to the high ground and tries to look down on them, which is what 17 is effectively trying to do right now.
Little spread through. Zhao Wu.
Go.
Shou even taking down Tiggleton. That's a good scalp to take for them. They do have a bit of a leapfrog position forwards against them, though, as Falcons would like to have some kind of little bit more room forwards for it, but 17's cutting that off. Human double here against Na'Vi. Na'Vi's had no room whatsoever because DNF has been able to shut down the north completely. This has been great by them.
Yeah, DNF is actually playing really, really well at this event. They get another knock and flush. Hakatori is going to go down, and that leaves Na'Vi short-handed and ultimately no-handed as they're eliminated. DNF playing very, very well today, and they said T1 is down. This is our chance to finish today in first place, and they are maximizing those points with 7 kills on the board already.
Yeah, they've got a great shot of doing so. And as 4 alive coming in from the north side here, where is our circle going to go? If it goes their way, if it's got Gumin in at least as that anchor position, then it would be perfect. And he's in such a good spot to have that occur, and it does go their way. Alongside Furia as well, that's on the edge perimeter of Yulin. I'd be scared as Furia, though, because you want to be watching down on what is going on elsewhere, but then you've got to be mindful of Twisted Minds eventually backfilling your position.
Yeah, Furia's in a tough spot. They've got what it looks like the best spot, but it's going to get aggressed on by 3 or 4 different sides. And so if it happens at the same time, you're just effectively out of luck, right? So that is going to be one to watch. I think DNF is going to start to collapse down on Human. They've got a good position where they can hold against 17, who's progressively going to move into their spot. Falcons without a lot of options, and even less so is Bagopah, who has to try to get in from the south with almost no cover and no circle time.
Arena still looking forwards into this, what is effectively this unplayable position there. I think, does Gen.G still have people up on top of it, or is it all, they're all on the ground now, aren't they? Yeah, they're all on the ground. Never mind.
I concur.
Good stuff. Arena. Gonna be stretching around here. Yeah, I'm like having an internal monologue. I was like, are they there? Are they not there? Okay, right, cool. Twisted Minds trying to hold off Arena. Nice tire pop out here against them, and that's an easy one, for example.
Nice. I noticed they were rhetorical questions and just rolled with it. Meanwhile, Arena is going to get double tapped, showing just why Molotov and Example can be an excellent combo as they get those peaks up over the top. Arena trying to find a way to survive, but there's just no cover there. It is going to be an easy burn down. They're not worried about anyone stealing the kills from them right now. They're in a very, very good position.
Yes, they are. Bean still, though. He's kind of stuck in no man's land a little bit against where Bagel Pirate is kind of pushing up against him. Unless this was an intentional wraparound to try and get the off angle. That's a lot of damage coming out from Akan, though. He's going to have to back off from it, or at least go to the smoke. As, of course, the BRDM. Well, that's okay. That's bold, and they do take out Batulins instantly. Where's the reinforcements? Lou, hit them with the Panzer. Hit them. Yep. Oh, they got out.
Oh, they jumped out. Back in. Out. Back in. They have a Panzer too.
What is going on? Oh, they exploded.
What happened? Oh, no. He got him with those last bullets.
That's wild. What the hell just happened?
Meanwhile, Korea fights Korea yet again, as it has really just been a non-stop showdown. Every time Gen.G gets into a circle, there is a Korean team waiting for them, or so it seems, as they will drive around. Orca blind kills Park Pro and then reverses over his body.
It's one way to do it. That is one way to do it. As Park Pro, unfortunately for him, too much leading to do for Bagel Pass. 17 points on the day so far. Gen.G, 16 points on the day. 770 has got himself a Lynx on the other side, putting in some damage against Shrimsy. He's gone in an instant as quickly
as he was. I hate seeing Shrimsy die, but I love seeing a Lynx in action.
Yeah, they're brutal, man. Like, the fact that it's just constant pressure is terrifying. But Furia is going to be very happy with this circle here for a big potential capitalize.
Keystar going to go ahead and grind forward here. Nice little play there. Gets involved and takes the last kill away. So Begapod goes down. Gen.G, I think, not in the best of shape, but saved by that backstab by Falcons, forcing Begapod's hand. Also, Falcons is a massive move. They were all the way over where 17 is right now in that ditch and use that fight to move to what they think is going to be a more prio position closer to Furia.
I think what's made this doubly difficult, Toffees, is it's not a common ending location. The fact that we still have the unplayable Spire in, the fact that we have the edge of Yulin in, it is not too common whatsoever. So for all of these teams, they're trying to figure out the perspective and also trying to figure out how on earth do we approach any teams on the other side of this or trying to wrap around on this road.
Falcons is going to get eliminated as Gen.G continues to survive, getting every ounce of points he can out of this match. Gen.G on that high ground, 4 up. This would be a big move for them as they're in 10th place. And I think you need to really be looking at this. You want to be north of that 30 mark going into tomorrow to still stay competitive. Petrichor, 4 a.m., anyone's legend. They're going to be stressed out pretty hard tonight. If Gen.G or Fury can come away with this win, it puts them back into the, hey, we're still in it for that $50,000 position.
Yeah, I guess on the lower side of it, it's like, how much do you have confidence in a map pick if you win a game? Or can you, well, I guess, can you even get that win in the first place? But then if you can get that win, how can you capitalize on it as big as you can? Like T1 definitely did. Like, so kudos to them. They will eventually be overtaken by the looks of things here by DNF because they still look very, very solid. But T1 has definitely had a great day so far. The rest of Korea here trying to move them forwards. Gen.G going up against Xiaowu. He underhands an nade into the smoke. Cook. That's smart stuff. Oh.
Yeah. He's doing it again. He's doing it again. The suicide cook. You get it awful low and hope it's just far enough away. Tosses it short. Won't get it. Ovo's trying to support him from the outside with the Lynx. Gets Orca down.
That's crazy as the smoke dissipates. Crazy shot coming out. This Lynx has been impactful. And can 17 continue to hold? Human, though, is going to have something to say about this. And Guy himself, like, oh, nice. Peeks on over. Oh, down. Will more of 17 fall? They are being ripped apart on both sides here by South Korea.
Yeah, that's the trouble. They were in a good spot, but getting pincered on both sides put 17 in really an untenable position, no matter how they come out on this one. Meanwhile, Twisted Minds looking to get some action as well. Salute has to fall back to support his team, but Twisted Minds is not going to allow them to go for free as Heaven is left for dead.
Definitely trying to protect their top 4 record on a rondo. That's for sure here from Twisted Minds. Obviously, they picked this map. I think that they did not have the best of circles to try and play it out from, all things considered, with the teams having gone further forwards than them, despite being in test track. But regardless, 6 kills already. Top 5 so far. Not a bad result, considering that they picked it. An example, still looking for more. Still sending some nades forwards against DNF, who is now tied in points here with T1, but doesn't quite have the placements to take on over. But now with these extra kills, maybe if they get the flushes, they will be number 1.
DL put in some work to get that knock. They want to move up this hill. He is very low, the last remaining player, 417, but the boys are not taking risks. Freaks is going to very slowly push this and make sure that any trades work in their favor. Lou gets example to the safety spot. What a sacrifice. What a man. What a legend.
Furia has just such a citadel that they can hold out on. Gumin with another one on show. That's 5 for Gumin. Damn, he might actually be the kill leader for the day now that I think about it. What we've seen from DM Freaks. Great stuff from them. 10 kills on the board in this one game alone. That's already the $1,000 here. And Twisted Minds, once again, the top 4.
There is a reason they call him Zoomin' Gumin as he comes away with a good amount of points. Twisted Minds in the top 4 looking good, but Furia's compound, as you said, no one wanted to risk pushing it. There's too many places to hide, so everyone fought on the fringes. And Furia, in a spot that I don't think would have been left alone in a traditional FPP tournament, gets away with it because no one wants to dig them out.
Well, one's already dug out. Poser's gone. That's not a good start for them. They should have been able to hold this with a bit more fortitude, a bit stronger, as now there's going to be threats from multiple sides coming on in. How can Furia deal with this? They're going to be knocking at the door every single angle.
Posa is going to get flushed. Bean has been playing very, very well here. As we said, the blue zone go up. Kazera using that low ground position. He's got an M249 on his back. If he believes in accuracy through volume, pulls out the 150 rounds. Stands up, going to try to run for a little bit of safety as the Freaks are coming in from the other side. It's time to close this off and at least gather up as a team.
Yes, it is. I heard that Toffees does a great impression of a M249. As I'm going to say, I'm not going to let him do it.
150 times.
Oh, God, that was so good. I really felt like I was in the moment. Jeez.
As a throwback to Masters West 2, if I remember correctly. Salute with a nice little flash. Going to try to throw that up over the top. Furia being defensive, and I understand why, but it is so hard for me to reprogram the mental that I'm used to like, get behind these defensive late game plays. But I think that that's the way you have to do it, right?
I think for Furia, there was just too many buildings and too many angles to try and cover. I think they were too spread out across this compound, and letting one just go for free really scuppers a lot of their plans. I mean, yeah, they've got an MG3 in hand. That's dangerous. That's deadly. But now you can see how much they've fallen back from just that one knock. Example, man, stop it.
No, you do you, Example. This guy's a legend. He is the best. The players call him the robot because all he's ever focused on is absolute winning. And so far, Twisted Minds, who I think, you know, they got Molodok as a sub. I guarantee they did not spend the run-up to PGC preparing as much for this strategic transition. Are showing out incredibly well. Now, part of that is getting that Rondo call, playing a good map on the last one. But these guys, no matter what the format, no matter what the map, no matter what the game, I'm always impressed with the way that they approach it.
Hey, Example's the only guy with a PGS, a PGC, an EWC, like a PEC, like...
So if he had won PGC, he'd be undeniably the GOAT. Do you think he's still the GOAT without the win?
I think there's a few contenders. I mean, I'm EMEA biased, right, to a degree. So I think I probably would put Example as that guy because he's the only guy with all the titles. And, you know, whenever you pick him up fantasy, he's always doing your damage for you. It doesn't matter if he's getting the kills or not. He's always doing your damage. So probably still. But I think that as multiple years go on, maybe there'll be some contenders. I definitely think of some names that could easily contend down the line.
Interesting. You? I like that. I do think that that's that world where we're kind of, you know, as we transition to TPP, that sort of status of who was the greatest FPP player of all time, it's going to be impossible not to have Example as one of the top 3, probably in perpetuity. And I'm excited to see how he makes this transition as well, because so far, it seems like he's up to his old tricks.
Oh, yeah. They'll be looking for you. They'll be hunting you down. They'll be getting the kills. Alongside Lou, who apparently is a bit sick. But that's fine, because he's still Lou. He's still good at the game.
The professor doesn't need to be healthy, all right? He transcends basic thought. The man, the myth, the legend with Salute, another myth, another legend crawling around above him. Bean gets another. Bean has been a problem for Furia specifically.
Yeah, it's all falling apart for Furia. Furia should have been able to hold this technically a little bit easier. However, again, I will say it is such a huge compound to try and hold. Flame takes down example, though. It's all on Lou. They don't quite know where he is. He hasn't made too much noise around this position, although if Salute's trying to peek on over this, that'd be crazy if he eventually saw him. I don't think he can, though. He's under a lip.
Yeah. The Nox scouting really, really strong here in this format, especially on the high ground that he is right now. Lou trying to decide if he wants to have the Panzerfaust out or a gun. You can see the push coming from above him. He's hoping they'll see each other and fight and just leave him alone for a second as he prepares the Panzer Blast. They're getting the res. That's a bold res.
But there's a world where Lou just gets second place guaranteed off of this, because he's quite close to the center, and the rest are going to get crunched in on one another unless somebody goes down to the low ground. But I don't see a reason why anybody would at this point in time. They know that other people are up here. If you go down to the low ground, you're basically sacrificing your game in trying to go. Oh, he throws the gas can here and pops it. Damn.
It's smart, though. It stops them from pushing towards the dot. It's going to slow them down and buy them a little bit of space for Freaks to fight with Gen G. Furia is going to have to sort of wait for that to dissipate. Human goes ahead and gets flashed. Bean with a nice jump peek. He's going to get knocked and may go to the low ground, but he dies before he can give away the position. Freaks making a massive play.
Huge stuff here from them. They were already in number 1, and they're going to be able to take out quite a bit. Human goes down as well. But this is going to be DL still trying to survive things out. Knows exactly what they were going to be coming from. Salute takes down Gizera. This is big for the Freaks once again, who are looking to dominate this position through the smokes.
Lou's still on the dot, though.
He's looking for a second.
Playing out of their mind. Locks out Furia. Twisted Minds finally goes down.
Oh. Okay, Freaks takes the win. Huge stuff from them with the control that they had and the eventual fall of Furia. Freaks has it in the bag. It came down to the wire, though, at the end, Toffees.
It really did, but the Freaks set up. They played well. They actually utilized Bean and his incredible play on the opposite side to open the door for them to progress. And while the Salute res seemed bold, it was the perfect play. And they come away with the win specifically because of that.
For sure. And that means now that we will see DN Freaks finish the day in number 1 and have the choice of first map going into tomorrow, I do believe. So, of course, that will be very important. I wonder where they will go.
They will grab the flag. He's saying, go choose your map. He's like, I thought I was done for the day. No, you got to choose your map before we let you go home. Fine. If I must.
It's a bit harder for me to predict this one, because Erangel or Miramar, I think, would be two great choices for them. You think Miramar?
I think they start on Miramar. I think everybody's angry that we didn't see Miramar today. So the right thing to do is pick Miramar. Send us to the Dusty Dunes.
Goes back to Erangel. Fuming with a ton of kills coming in. Let's bring back, of course, Matrim and Michael back in to finish off the day. Matrim, what did you make of Korea looking great?
I don't know. I need a paper thin behind me screaming something about Begapa right now. I'm used to every single one of these events having paper next to me just being like, oh, Korea. I guess I got to like summon it for him right now because you know he's losing his mind. And especially given the fact that it's the Freaks who just started the day with a big pop off from Human and ended with a big pop off from Human.
Yeah, I mean, I can do, here, I'll help you out. Paper thin would be going, you're in the bit, you're in the bit, you're in the bit.
I'd be mad.
He would be. And I guarantee he's hopping around on stage having a great time right now. But for me, it has been, the prediction was there. Paper said it first. I'm on board that Korea is especially going to come out at the start of TVP with guns blazing. And you heard even the interview for Gen G, I think it was, where they said they've been training this. They've been practicing this. We're ready to play it. And so I do think that is something that we're seeing out of that region more than any other, that these guys have already started investing in that transition.
Oh, 1,000%. And it's showing in performances, being the fact of what we're seeing with T1 or anything else like that. Twisted there while we see him on screen. It felt like there was a world, Michael, where Twisted might have actually won that. They were playing very smart. They got into a good position and at least could have secured themselves into a second place, but all the dominoes fell so fast there at the end. Like, Twisted did such a good job on controlling angles for so long.
Yeah, I think if it was anyone else but DNF that was alive at the end, I think Twisted could have won that game, but they're just feeling it. They've had so much momentum all day. Like, Human and DL are the two players that you want. Your main Fragger and your IGL to be full of confidence. Your IGL's just calling every fight, going full aggressive, and then your main Fragger's just killing everything that moves. I think if it wasn't DNF that was like in second control for the win, I think Twist could have took that.
You can see that sneaky spot that Lou managed to set up into. And Furia making into the later stages. This is a squad that I had much higher expectations for in TPP, given the fact that they just did so well in territory control and getting into circles really efficiently. But it's been pretty quiet from them until this game where they started to have some type of pop-off. Like, looking retrospectively, I've got to ask, the genius of geniuses that knows everything about maps, is Miramar cooked, Claris? Are we just never going back?
I think it's just like a lot of these players and a lot of these teams will still favor Erangel, even though sometimes, you know, when we're watching it as onlookers, we feel like teams are metagaming each other a little too big. They still feel like it is kind of the bread and butter they go to. So with no limitations going into day 2, yeah, I kind of expected maybe an Erangel for the Freaks. That one though, I can't call a prediction on that one. I didn't call that one. That's not me.
Hey, it's fine. We'll still get some Erangel to start it off. So equalize everything. Huge game, though, for the Freaks. 24 points right there. Falling back behind, Twisted Minds, Gen G finding 11 as well. Furia finding 9. So whenever we look at the overall, Freaks way up there on top. 61 points. Then a drop down into T1. Korea at 1 and 2. Twisted back behind them. Falcons in 4th. Not 3rd, but it's going to be 17 falling down into FW, who's been kind of sneaky today, Toffees, as this leaderboard is not the way I expected it, but kind of the way I expected it at the same time.
FW has been sneaky. I think that's a great way to put it, is they've been sort of in these fights where we're like, oh, what are these guys up to? And they kind of grind their way on placement, have one really good game and get the kills to go along with it. The counter to that is Na'Vi. Na'Vi has been crazy loud, I feel like. We're seeing them all the time, and yet to be in 7th, only 32 kills is actually surprising for me with how much we've seen them in the highlight reels.
Down at the bottom, we've got 4 Angry Men, Petrichor Road. It's a struggle down there, as you guys were talking about it. Like, most of the points for Petrichor Road found in what one game?
Number 1 here at the Pubg Players Masters Invitational, and we need to welcome our daily winners. Everyone, give a big round of applause for the DN Freaks. Come on down. All right, and because they are your daily winners, they are going to get an extra $5,000 in their pockets. Congratulations, guys. Great job today. That win on Rondo sent them ahead, and that is going to do it for us here today on the stage. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Just an absolute crazy day of games to kick off everything. Bit chaotic, meta slowly developing out, as I would say, Claris, this is a lot more aggressive than I was expecting. I was expecting PPP to be a little bit slower at the start, but these guys, they're hungry for some money.
I think teams are feeling themselves out, of course, when it comes to this lobby of 16 teams. As you say, the money does help in terms of looking for the aggression, as we saw some big crashes on some of these compounds. I think there's going to be some soul searching tonight, though, considering the approach to how these lobbies go, because I still think there's a world where some teams could hold down compounds going into later stages, not being as aggressive, and then playing for the win.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, you think that all the players are just kind of keeping a tally of how many kills they get, and they get their $100 per kill, or does it go to the team and they split it?
It's got to go to the team. It's got to. I mean, if we're talking